What's up, YouTube? This is Zach with Zach Attack Cards coming back at you with another opening, and I am so incredibly excited to open what we have for you today. So I went to a local card shop and was able to get some grab bags, which are basically like team bags, and they're all Major League Baseball Showdown. I ended up getting seven or eight MLB Showdown 2005, which was the last year of the game, and just the one 2003. And mostly I did that because 2003 I have a lot more than I have of 2005. I believe if you check the print runs, I'm sure 2005 was a lot less. But for those that don't know, what MLB Showdown was a game by Wizards of the Coast back in the early 2000s. It actually ran from 2000 to 2005, and it was essentially shuttered by the fact that Topps got the exclusive deal with Major League Baseball to print baseball cards. So basically Wizards of the Coast decided to abandon the game rather than sell it to Topps. But for those not familiar with Wizards of the Coast, I mean, you're most likely familiar with their other games like Magic the Gathering, and they were behind Pokemon for the first, I'm not sure how many years, but let's just say maybe the first 10 years or so before Pokemon decided to basically self-publish. They're very good at making card games, and this was really no different. I mean, it was a lot of fun. I still love collecting it, still love playing it. Obviously, it's getting harder and harder to find due to the fact that, that it's going on 20 years now since, it was last published. So usually I'm only able to get them off eBay, and I still do that from time to time, but really not, very often, maybe every couple of months. So when I walked into the store today and saw these, I was so excited and just had to get them. And I mean, they costed almost nothing. Each bag was $1. So I mean, this is absolutely incredible to me. It's going to be a blast from the past for some of these names too. But let's just see what we got here. Without further ado, got Brent Maine for the Kansas City Royals, and as you can see here, so a brief little breakdown. So he's a hitter, right? So he gets an on-base number of 9, which is pretty good. I mean, in 2003, I think they upped it to from 2000 to 2001, I believe it only went up to 10. The best on-base and best hitters got a 10, and then from 2002 to 2005, I think the best was maybe 14, something like that. I know Barry Bonds had some ridiculous cards with on-base numbers, but then you can see to the left here is some special stats, like you have a speed, tells you which way he bats, tells you the position he plays, and basically how well he plays it is kind of what the plus is for. It has more to do with the fielding and such, when you're playing the more advanced version of the game. And then it has the cost underneath it, because you can only build a team of a certain cost, depending on what your league rules were. And then basically you had your little chart of outs or outcomes here, I guess is what you should call it. Where basically anytime your hitter got the advantage, you checked this chart. Anytime the pitcher had the advantage, you checked his chart for whatever the result of the dice roll was. And it really was as simple as that. You just kept track of it from there. But I really, would love for this to be brought back by, I mean, I guess it would have to be Topps, but I would love for somebody to bring back a game like this. It's just fun, easy. I mean, it is incredible. I can't say enough good things about it. And like I said, I love this game. But we start with Brent Maine. Now we got old Doug Glanville from the Philadelphia Phillies. Definitely remember him. John Olerud, definitely one of the better hitters for a number of years, and definitely in the game. He's getting a 13 here, which is quite good. I don't quite remember what the yellow symbols mean. I'd have to look that up. I tend to play 2001 or 2001 rules, which differ from 2002 through 2005. And those did not exist on those cards. So Olerud, Ray Lankford, a 10, another nice one. I don't expect to see any foils or premium cards in here either, because again, I mean, they cost $1, so I would assume these are all commons, but I'm still searching them out and still trying to put all the sets together myself, so it's another way of doing it. Mike Lowell, there we go. Started off with the Florida Marlins, now the Miami Marlins. Went up and probably won a title. Did he win a title with Boston after he went up there? Probably did. But excellent hitting, third baseman for a number of years. Matt Lawton for the Cleveland, I guess we'll stick with Guardians, since definitely don't want to be offensive. But very good outfielder for them for a number of years again. Randall Simon, Detroit Tigers. I think he was mostly a DH. Oh, and a first baseman. Sure. Eric Chavez. That's a nice one. Third base. He definitely, I want to say he was a foil card in maybe 2002, so a year before this. Orlando Merced, Houston Astros. Corey Koski, another member of some pretty good Twins teams. We already saw Matt Lawton a few cards back. Roberto Alomar, here we go, getting towards the tail end of his career. Playing for the Mets. This was after, obviously, all of his strong years with Cleveland, and he played for my Orioles for a while, and a number of other teams. There's Orioles, speaking of which, Jay Gibbons. Yeah, I mean, he was a pretty good power hitter for the organization for a little while. And let's see, the chart indicates a 19 plus as a home run. It could definitely be better, but he was an electric hitter for the Orioles for a few years. Darren Erstad, good for the Anaheim Angels for sure. Mike Bordick, all right, another Oriole. Danny Bautista for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and finishing on Mike Cameron. Center fielder, I believe he had the unfortunate task of taking over for Ken Griffey Jr., though I could be wrong about that. And yeah, it's definitely not a job you want. Such an iconic player. So let's get into 2005, which again, not a year I played a lot with, and I don't have a ton of the cards, but that's why I grabbed a whole bunch. We get duplicates, that's fine. Again, because I tend to play, so sometimes the cards get a little messed up, but you can see the difference between 2003 and 2005. 5 was really like a standard baseball card picture, whereas I mean 2003 was too, but I feel like 2005 is a lot cleaner. So starting off with Hall of Famer Chipper Jones. And obviously there's a few different things here. Well, you can't see it too well on his chart, but at this point they had a lot more strategy cards and stuff that went along with the game. So essentially you'll see a lot of charts that have all the way up to, I want to say maybe 25, 26 might be the highest number. But yeah, so I got Juan Castro for the Cincinnati Reds. Tony Graffonino, Kansas City Royals. I don't remember a ton about him with the exception of he had a pretty cool name. Mike Sweeney, another big-time hitter for Kansas City for a number of years. And again, in Showdown, he was a very effective hitter. His cards were, I want to say, 10s for a couple of years, if not a bunch of years. Aubrey Huff, Tampa Bay Rays. Rod Barajas, Texas Rangers, catcher there for a short time, I think right after Pudge Rodriguez left. Eric Burns for the Oakland A's. Khalil Green, San Diego Padres. Rondell White, Detroit Tigers. That was definitely towards the tail end of his career after he left the Montreal Expos. Garrett Anderson, another good power hitter for Anaheim Angels, and also in this set was frequently number 1, as you can see down here. That's the year you have, 2005, and next to that is the card number if you're building the sets, because the sets always went by the teams and then alphabetical order. Carlos Delgado, that's a really nice one. 11 on base. Definitely getting up there in years for him as well. Scott Hatteberg, if you guys watched the movie Moneyball, he hear that name. Tony Womack, definitely remember him a little more from the Diamondbacks. Dustin Moore, and finishing on Edgardo Alfonso, who I definitely remember more as a Met. This one's pretty awesome too, starting with Jeff Bagwell. Let's pop this open and see what kind of cards we got. Like I said, definitely expecting some duplicates. I'm sure these are not all going to be different, but so far they are. Jeff Bagwell, like I said, loved watching him hit. I feel like anybody who watched him growing up definitely tried to mimic his batting stance. It was insanely low, like he was doing a squat. Got Kevin Gregg, our first pitcher. So now you can see the control versus the on base. That's kind of how it worked, right? So basically what you did was you rolled the dice twice, right? So you roll first for the pitch, essentially. You would add that to the pitcher's control. If it was greater than the batter, then essentially you'd go off of the pitcher's list here down at the bottom to determine what the outcome of the next die roll meant. And if it was less than or equal to, I believe it went to the hitter, and you would go off the hitter's chart at the bottom to determine the outcome. So again, very simple, but I always found it very addicting. I always thought it was just so much fun. Dan Maselli, John Thompson for the Atlanta Braves, Jake Westbrook for Cleveland. Number of pitchers in this one, that's good. Jason Jennings for the Rockies, Damaso Marte for the White Sox. There's Dontrell Willis for the Florida Marlins. Now, I know for certain he was a holographic, I believe, in 2004, which I think was also his rookie year. Man, this guy was electrifying anytime he went to the mound. And not only that, obviously this was back when pitchers still hit and stuff. So, and he was a guy who could definitely handle a bat. He was a very good hitter. Alan Embry, Brett Tomko, got another Damaso Marte. So there we go, duplicate right in that one. Tim Spoonie Barger, got Justin Spire, Toronto. Pedro, all right. That was Pedro, not a holographic. He's definitely a holographic in a number of others. 2000, 2001, definitely, maybe even more. And Runalviz Hernandez. Probably said that wrong, but Pedro is an awesome card there. So who are we starting off here? Mike Dijon. Definitely a little bit of a downgrade from Chipper Jones and Jeff Bagwell. Well, who knows? Maybe something good lies in this pack. Mike Dijon, Jason Jennings we already saw. Chan-Ho Park, a lot of people were very high on him when he first came into the league, which I think was, 96, something like that. Hideo Nomo, another one. I think he was, 95 or something like that. Pitching for the Tampa Bay Rays. This was after his strong Dodger years. Eric Hinsky. Edgar Martinez, Hall of Famer. Very nice one. Had a holographic or foil card in 2001. Michael Young. Buddy Groom, old reliable reliever for the Orioles for a number of years, amongst other teams. Julian Tavares, another reliable reliever, this time for the Cardinals. Kazuhisa Ishii, he was definitely a hollow foil, whatever you want to call it, as well, in 2004 as well. Justin Spire again, and Maselli, Dontrell Willis again, that's awesome. Aaron Harang, and ending on Kerry Wood, who's a bit of a blast from the past. Not bad. See, there you go. His chart goes all the way up to 27. So, there's no way to hit that on the old 20-sided die without the help of a strategy card. Let's see what we're starting. We've got Woody Williams here. Definitely a good starter for the Cardinals for a while. Kevin Gregg. Got Kip Wells. It's very nice. Starter for the Pirates. Real Cormier for Philly. Travis Harper for Tampa Bay. There's Cormier again. Kip Wells again. Tom Gordon. I remember him more from the White Sox than I do the Yanks, but as a strong reliever, +6. You don't generally see a number that strong, but can also really only pitch 1 inning before he starts to deteriorate a bit. Matt Morris, interesting fun fact about him is I saw him pitch in the minors a number of times before he came up with the Cardinals. Julian Tavares, Matt Clement, there's Kerry Wood again, Kevin Gregg again, Trevor Hoffman, that's a really nice one, and Kent Merker. So Trevor Hoffman, it's awesome. Again, probably the second best closer of his generation. I mean, Mariano Rivera definitely takes that one in easy fashion. But Hoffman was very dominant. Kenny Rogers, all right. Texas. CC Sabathia, all right. Very nice. Definitely going to recognize him more now from the Yankees. LaTroy Hawkins, he's an analyst now, I believe. Tom Gordon, we got Kip Wells again. Got Wilson Alvarez of the Dodgers. Josh Beckett, all right. There's a name you don't hear a lot either. Won a title with the Marlins and then went up to Boston and helped them out. Paul Wilson, Jim Brower, Jarrett Wright, guy that people were very high on him when he first came into the league, but didn't really amount to a ton. Julian Tavares, Ricardo Rincon, another name you'll hear if you watch Moneyball. Mike Koplov, Renelves Hernandez, and ending on Real Cormier. So got down to the last 2 packs, see what we got. Moises Salou tops this one. And that's interesting because this is probably right around the time where, was it Steve Bartman was the fan that reached out and basically took the Cubs' postseason chances away, and Moises Salou was the guy trying to make the catch. I think that guy's still in hiding when you watch, you listen to the ESPN documentaries and stuff. Derek Lee, another very reliable hitter for the same Chicago Cubs teams as Moises Salou. Cesar Torres. We got Mike Matheny, eventually turned into a coach. Greg Monroe for the Tigers. Craig Counsell, definitely a coach now. Or manager, whatever. Rondell White. Got Khalil Green again. Corey Koski we've already seen. There's Casey Blake for Cleveland. Eli Marrero. All right, you got 12. He definitely had a few hot seasons there. Marco Scutaro. Rob Makoviak. Michael Barrett for the Cubs. Definitely a Cubs pack. And Orlando Hudson. And let's see if we can get a little LPM. Maybe get a few more Orioles in this pack here. Starting with Victor Martinez, which is a strong start. Switch hitting catcher from Cleveland. He was very good for a few years there. Jason Varitek, he basically anchored all those good Boston teams. Ray Durham. There's Craig Counsell again. Carlos Guillen. I remember him more with the Mariners. Nomar Garciaparra. You don't see that too often. Look at that, a Chicago Cubs card of Nomar. Definitely, again, it's probably past his prime. You know, I would say his prime was probably more so with Boston. There's Mike Cameron on the Mets. Paul LaDuca. He had a foil in 2002 Showdown. Gabe Kapler. Jose Guillen. Coco Crisp. Also saw him play in the minors before he came up. Rob Makoviak. Another Mike Cameron. Reggie Sanders. And finishing with Wes Helms for the Milwaukee Brewers. So that's all I got for you today. Let me know down below if MLB Showdown is a game that you've played or that you still play. I'd love to hear from you. I'm definitely going to hope to do more videos on it if I can continue to find the cards, because this is it's just one of those pastimes that really helps with my OCD. I love playing this game, and so I hope to feature it on the channel as long as the cards are still available. And that's about it. Without further ado, I will bid you guys farewell. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.